say Twitch. All right. What's everybody did? They go where? Let's see. Hey Siri, set a timer for 2 hours. All right, we're gonna mute that so we don't hear an echo or feedback on the other side. Anyway, all right. Let's see what we have here. Let's go live on TikTok. My Facebook people, my YouTube people, we're gonna have a good show today, but make gonna give me 1 second, make I set up my TikTok. Gonna wait, help me copy. It's not gaming, it's let's see, outdoor random news and events. Let's see. TikTok is forcing me to pick a topic. So let's say, I don't know, news and events maybe. I mean, it's good though. So they know we have to channel your stuff, right? Chat and interview. No, it's not chat. Maybe it's chat and interview, right? Yeah. Let me try chat and interview today. Yeah, because I'm gonna be chatting. I'm gonna be bringing people on. So yeah, all right. Let's see Akurolo. Let's see. Let us see what chat and interview does for us today. So you go send them, go the right place we want them to go. Anyway, I think everything there is set. Let's see. All right, live on TikTok. I would think so. Let me see. So everybody did it go well, Sha. I hope everybody's day is going well. I hope say your Sunday they go well. Sunday go soon finish. The hustle and bustle go begin tomorrow again. Another day, another naira. American people go say another day, another dollar. Our own another day, another naira. So tomorrow we are going to go and hustle another naira. You know, so I hope everybody they drink water. Me, I need to do my live show. Make I do my live show and let me see if this one is open. The YouTube. YouTube should be live, but it doesn't seem to be live. I don't know the word. There we go. YouTube is running. Okay. YouTube is live, so we're good on that side as well. All right. You know, American people go say another day, another naira, another dollar. We now another day, another naira. So I hope say everybody don't they prepare to go make another naira tomorrow. You know, today is a Sunday of a day of rest. They say God created the heaven and earth for 6 days, and on the 7th day he rest. Human being too supposed rest. Now so it be. So today is our day of rest. We go and do anything we want to do. If you want to opue, that one is your own. If not opue be your problem. Opue all through the Sunday, but tomorrow make sure say you go out there and go and find another dollar, you know. make sure you go out there and find another dollar, another dollar, another naira. We're talking about naira because we're Nigerians, right? But Nigerians, they're all over the world. So it could be another dollar, it could be another euro, it could be another I don't know, another China money, another Japan money, another Australia money, another Canada money. The Nigerians, they're all over the world, right? Hey, man, you can't even say naira because we're all over the world. We make all currencies. Shout out to Nigerians, man. Our country too small to contain us, so we have to get out there and go and populate. We are the true definition of human being. They say, go out there and how they talk about Bible? Go out there and multiply. We are doing it. What in Bible say make we do? We took it literally and ran away. Hey man, we're gonna have a good show today. Thank you guys for being here. It's gonna be a great show. Interesting topic. Whichever I don't know, because I think the idea of this akurula, I think it has been misconstrued. So I want to put my 1 cent. I want to put my half cent or half kobo. Again, naira, right? We have to talk about the naira. I want to put my half kobo in this topic and hear what other people also have to say about it, because for the most part, right? And I'm going to make the introduction. This one, not just preamble. But in the meantime, hey, Onye, thank you so much. Happy Sunday to you as well. Thank you for joining. I appreciate you. Thank you, Onye, for joining. I appreciate you. Akurula, I think the idea has been stuck, or we never evolve them. We never evolve the idea of Akurula. So today I want to talk about it in my small wisdom. In my small wisdom, how I think it should be, what I think it should be, right? And we'll see what other people also think about it. See what other people also think about it. Other Igbo people, what other Igbo people think about it. Because I think I'm trying to set up my my mobile station. I'm trying to set up my mobile station. So I make adjust the finger things. Yeah, but anyway, just to hear what other people think about it and give my own 2 cents and, as usual, push back as much as I can, right? Because this is the pushback show. Shout out to the beer parlor, man. Shout out to the beer parlor. This is the pushback show, man. We need to let people come here. They run with crazy narratives. We put the narratives the way we want it to go. No lies. You say your opinion, but don't try to make your opinion sound like a fact. And we keep it going. We keep it moving. It's what it is. Anyway, I thank everybody for being here. It's going to be a good show. While you're here, please feel free to like and share, and so we can get more people here to join the show. All right, make I just validate say everything they work. I think we're good on Twitch. Let me just be sure. I think so, but make I dey sure. We're streaming on 4 platforms now. Shout out to the beer parlor, man. Shout out to the beer parlor, man. We're streaming on 4 platforms now. We're streaming on Twitch. We're streaming on Facebook. Shout out to my Facebook people. We're streaming on TikTok, and we're streaming on YouTube. So wherever you're there, if you miss us. I think maybe I go include Kick. I don't know. Kick is another streaming platform. Just for the fun of it, right? Because I can. How about that? Because I can. I'll just do it just for the fun of it. How about that? Well, anyway, hey, it's not about what I can do or what I can't do. It's about Akurula and how I think it has been watered down. Because when we hear the word Akurula, right, many people reduce it to one thing, just build a house in the village. Come December, you go home, paint the compound, add new gate, maybe, add POP ceiling, throw a party, here and there. People say, this man don't make ammo. This man don't bring in wealth, come back home, But my question is this, right? Is that really the full meaning of Akurula, or do we need to look at it differently? Just a little bit, right? Because to me, right, Akurula, it should not just mean building mansions in the village. It should mean building industries. It should mean building institutions. It should mean building businesses that can employ our young people, process our raw materials, power our cities, make the Southeast a serious economic engine in Nigeria. We can do these things. We get the people. And Igbo were mado, and that is where I think we have failed as Igbo people, right? Igbo people are some of the most successful business people in Nigeria. From Lagos, so you go Abuja, go Kano, go Port Harcourt, Ghana, South Africa. Shout out to my South African people. They pursue us now. They say make we carry our business, go back home. You see? Still on the Akurula, right? From Europe to America, you go find Igbo wealth everywhere. This platform, by the way, as everybody knows at this point, it's an Igbo progressive platform, Igbo advancement platform. Me say I no love every other people, but I love Igbo. So when you hear Igbo wealth, I mean Igbo wealth. But I no talk say wealth no day Nigeria, but I'm very specific about Igbo wealth, especially in this discourse, right? We dominate trade, we dominate spare parts, business, we dominate importation, real estate, transportation, manufacturing, logistics. What is it? Entertainment, we did there. So many other areas, we did there. But the question is, right? Where are the partnerships? Those partnerships we go, turn to bigger corporations, Where are the corporations in Igbo land that have become household names like maybe, for instance, now, Dangote Group or even MTN or Globacom? Where are the partnerships among wealthy Igbo people that can build something even bigger than one man, one family, or even one village, right? Because many times we celebrate individual success, but we have not mastered collective economic power. Now there we they fail. Now there we they fail as Igbo people. Collective economic power. But here is one thing we would always forget as well. We have this saying, Igwebuike. It seems we just say them, but we don't put them into practice. We know they practicalize them. We have Igbo, I believe the Igbo language or Igbo culture. Igbo culture, if not my friend, shout out to my friend, Igwebuike. Ingo say, Igbo don't talk everything. Igbo don't talk everything. Igwebuike. So where is that collective economic power? We don't have it. One wealthy man go build hotel. Another one builds a mansion. Another one imports containers. Another one builds estates. But we are at the 10, 20, 50 Igbo wealthy people coming together to build a palm oil empire or a gas-powered electricity company, right? A modern industrial city, a manufacturing hub, or even a global retail chain. And shout out to Peter Obi on this one, right? Peter Obi, my guy. Shout out to Peter Obi, right? Peter Obi has started something beautiful with the next supermarket business. But he needs to take it to another level. Maybe not him, but maybe his son, his child, his children. They need to take it to the next level. Make it become retail chain, like Walmart, like Costco, like, I don't know, which other big retail, ShopRite even, right? ShopRite even. Look at the Southeast, right? We get fertile land. Palm oil alone, if we treat them seriously, it can transform parts of that region. We are sitting on opportunity that many countries then they beg for. Palm oil is not just red oil that is inside bottle. Palm oil no be just red oil wey sit down inside bottle. That is food processing there inside there. Cosmetics there inside there. It is soap, pharmaceuticals, exports, jobs, factories, packaging, logistics, wealth. Palm oil alone. And we have it there already. The land, the fertile land, there already where they grow palm oil, right? But instead of building the value chain around the plantation to processing, to branding, to export, we are still largely thinking small thinking. I don't talk this thing many times. Some people go, they laugh at me, but it's what it is. It's what it is, right? Then look at gas. The East has gas reserves. If the right investments are made, right? The Southeast should be, we should not be begging for power. The Southeast should be exporting electricity from Aba to Nnewi, Onitsha, Enugu, Abakaliki, Owerri, Umuahia. All these places should be powered by a serious regional energy strategy. That is what it should look like in the Southeast. Imagine a Southeast where power is stable, industrial zones are modern, roads connected, young people can fabricate, manufacture, design, process, package, export. We already have the talent. We get them already. We already have young people who can produce shoes, garments, leather products, printing materials, machine parts, metal works, furniture. So many things, right? What they lack is not skill. What they lack is structure, capital, power, and serious leadership. That's all what we're lacking, right? And this is where government has to come in and take some responsibility. Some responsibility.
Government has to come in here, like the Southeast governors now. They cannot keep waiting for Abuja for everything. They need to think bigger. They need to create a trust. They need to create investment vehicles that allow Igbo people in the diaspora and within Nigeria to safely invest in the region. There should be a serious Southeast Development Fund. I'm not talking about the Southeast Development Commission. Don't be that one that they talk about, because that man, Mark Okoya, I don't know where in carriers they go with that. I don't know where in carriers they go with that commission, right? But that's not the one I'm talking about. A fund that has a serious insurance, a fund, that has federal backing where possible, a fund that gives people confidence that their money will not disappear into politics, that their money can be used to build industrial zones, energy projects, agro-processing plants, tech hubs, roads, and export infrastructure. Now, I'm not talking about just mushroom stuff, right? Because we all have gone to that, or we all have gone, or if we never go, we don't see. I hesitated a little bit in saying we all have gone to China, but a lot of Igbo people have gone to China. So we've seen how these modern plants and processing things, we've seen how these modern infrastructure are. With this kind of fund, we can fund those kind of structures. Shout out to Alex Oti, by the way. Shout out to Alex Oti. Because in my opinion, I think he's the only Igbo leader at this point who actually has a vision on how a modern society should look like. I'm just tapping into the Umaya bus station that he's building. And there's so many other things where the man they build, right? He's built like small parks where people are, just going to do sightseeing. So those kind of things are telling me that this man actually has the vision. And that is what a modern society should look like. Because here's the truth. Many Igbo people want to invest back home, right? But we do not know if we can even trust the system. We don't know if we can trust government. We don't know if we can trust security. To trust land process, the way lands are shared and all that, we don't know if that one is good as well. They do not trust the, investment, if the investment will be protected. So instead of investing in factories, they'll rather build houses. At least the house, they're visible now, Abi. At least you go see your house. If you come back, you see your house. And nobody go ask you too many questions, right? But that mindset, it doesn't build any region. A mansion does not employ 5 people. A private compound does not create an export economy. A village house does not build a power grid. We have to move from symbolic wealth to productive wealth. Akurolo has to evolve. Akurolo has to evolve. It's just what it is. It must now mean to bring your capital home, bring your ideas home, bring your partnerships home, bring your factories home, bring your technology home, bring your global exposure home, bring it home. Bring your institutional mindset home. And let me be clear on this, right? This is not I'm not trying to attack any successful Igbo person. That's not what I'm trying to do here. It is the opposite instead, because it's because I believe in Igbo, right? I believe the Igbo people, we have the capacity to do more. We have the network, we have the money, we have the business experience, we have the drive, we have the hunger. We have the global reach. Waiting they stop us, But if everybody continues to build alone, we'll continue to have, rich individuals and a poor region. You go one village, you go see houses, fine houses, fine houses. That does not bring any good thing or prosperity to any region. My simple question on this topic is just this, right? What should Akurolo, what should it mean? What should it really mean in 2026 and beyond? Should it continue to mean that, you build a mansion, December, you go house, you do, I just got back, you throw party here and there, where you opoe the people, where if you opoe, you go back, should that be what Akurolo should be? Or should it mean industries, partnerships, energy, agriculture, manufacturing, and a Southeast that can stand as one of the strongest economic regions in Africa? As it once was, this thing, I'm not even making this up. The Southeast region, or the Eastern region, was once the strongest economic region in Africa. I'm not making this up. So that is the conversation I want to have today. So if this conversation interests you, feel free. Feel free to keep liking and sharing. And we're going to talk about it. It's going to be a good show. We're going to have a good show today. Let me see what we have here. My YouTube is still there. All right, I think we still, all right. I could begin to read some chats. If we do have some chat, I've done some introduction there. So let's get into it. Let us get into it, okay? All right, let's see what we have here. If you're here, please feel free to like and share. You know, so I don't overtalk. Make I drink small water. Make I drink small water. I don't overtalk. Hey man, listen, it's what it is, right? It's what it is. I think Akurulo can evolve, and I believe most people also believe or think that way. But you know, this one, my own small way of doing it. I'm thinking that this is possible. And by the way, keep liking. We can't bring any guests up just yet until, you know, we hit the 5K threshold that we always have. So feel free to keep liking and sharing. And we'll get our first guest up once we hit that 5K likes. Anyway, feel free to like and share. And it's what it is. Listen, Akurulo, it has obviously been watered down. Definitely been watered down. Definitely. You know, I think that's where it started from as the people who coined that phrase, Akurulo. You know, they coined it to mean, say, you come back house, you build house, let the younger people who are home, let them believe that they too can make it, it was a good idea. It was a good idea when it started. But this is 2026. We need to evolve. We need to think past that. We need to look forward, look more than where we are, you know, and try to bring exportation, because in the Igbo, we are known for import. Import is good, but that's in a one-man business. But if you start doing exportations, then a lot of people benefit from it. There's pipeline that can bring logistics, manufacturing, packaging, all this other good stuff. You can do all this other good stuff from export. Importation is good, but exportation is even better, right? Anyway, listen, man, let's keep liking and sharing. We're going to have a good show today. Let's see what we have here. Just give me 1 second there. All right. Let's see. We can see if any chats there here anyway. Let me see. Let me read some chats here. OJ Ken, thank you for requesting. We'll go soon hit 5K. Just let's get to that 5K and we'll bring our first guest up here. I see you requesting. Thank you for requesting. But we just need to hit 5K likes first and then we go from there. But I appreciate you. Let me see. Okay, there it is. Okay. I know they lose I have a lot of screens I'm looking at here, so make gonna bear with me 1 second. I just need to put this, there we go. This looks way better. All right, we're gonna bring you up in a moment, but let's keep liking and sharing and get more people here to join the show. Anyway, let's see. Make we continue to like and share. Just trying to put some things here in place, and then we'll read some chats and keep going from there. All right. Let's see what we have here. All right, let's read some chats here. Boom. Let's see. I'm not seeing a lot of chats. I just see this one follow. Thank you guys for following. I appreciate it. Let's see. Happy Sunday. Oh yeah, thank you. Happy Sunday to you too. Thank you so much. Let's see. All right, it's happening in Ogun State. Goswill says it's happening in Ogun State. Ogun State is being heavily industrialized. Absolutely, and that's what it should be. But it should go past Ogun State. Obviously Ogun and Lagos are quite industrialized now. But in the Southwest, it should go past those two states. I don't know a lot about the Southwest, so make una pardon me here if I say something when they're accurate, right? But it should go past those two states. It should go towards the region. It shouldn't be a two-state something. But I know that from one, you count two and count three and all that. So shout out to Ogun State and shout out to Lagos State as well, because they are the ones at least leading the forefront, right? And then hopefully other states can follow, right? Now so it be. Now from dance, nine clap they start. From clap, 9 dance they start. So absolutely, shout out to Ogun State in that regard. And Abia State is the state that I'm thinking in the Southeast that is going to lead that charge. Abia State, in my opinion, is the state that's going to lead that charge, and then others are going to follow. Because at this point, I'm not from Anambra, so I don't necessarily follow the Anambra politics. But I don't see, for example, Enugu State, right? Enugu State has Peter Mba, who is building a smart city. I've made a video about the smart city. I have my own pushback on that smart city, right? That smart city thing. It's nice, but is that what is going to take Enugu to the next phase? Enugu has things that they can capitalize on, like coal. They can, use coal and start generating electricity for themselves, right? If you use coal, begin to generate electricity for themselves, just like Imo State. Imo State has gas. They can use gas and start generating electricity for themselves and start exporting, not just generating it for themselves, but export as well. And that way, you don't create jobs. You don't, put Igbo for the map of Nigeria, put Imo State for the map of Nigeria. That is what I'm talking about. Then Abia has a lot of skilled people where they produce garments. They have skilled people where they produce shoes, leather products, fabrication, printing press. What have you? Beverage. These people, then they do everything for Aba. What do they need? Now just small support here and there. Small support here and there. That's all Abia State needs to go to the next level, to elevate. But anyway, it's what it is. It just takes a leader with a vision to see these things and tap in, key in, which I think, what's his name? Alex Oti. I think Alex Oti is doing it. Definitely. Absolutely. And shout out to Alex Oti on that one, Anyway, we're at 4.8K likes right now. And we'll soon hit our threshold. And then when we hit our threshold, we begin to bring guests up here and have the conversation. Let's hear your thoughts and see what you think about Akurolo and how it can be advanced, how it can be taken to the next level. Because now we won't be that. We don't want to be stuck. We don't want to be stuck in an idea or the concept of the idea from the 1960s. We need to evolve it. We now, the new generation of Igbo, we need to evolve that idea. Make the idea evolve. It shouldn't be stuck where our grandparents start them from. We need to take it to the next level. It needs to now be industrialization. It shouldn't be bringing home, building houses. That's not where it should be now. It should now be industrializing. Like, for instance, Adapalm. Nobody don't say, okay, make we even, I don't know if that's a state land or a state property. Nobody has said, okay, make I even lease them from the state and make something out of it, right? All the people we get, all the big Igbo men for Igbo land. Nobody has said, make I even lease this land from the government, or make I go into some sort of deal with the government. Maybe then go give me 10 years, 20 years lease free. Make I cut the palm with the on top palm, develop them again, and start making some profit, and then get back, start paying lease on the land. I don't know if anybody has thought about that, but it's right there. The land, they there. The infrastructure, they there already. It's there already. Waiting we carry them, they do. Instead, we, every Christmas, we come back, do Dorime, do this one, do that one. Everybody carrying himself, go back to where they come from again. That's not what Akurolo should be. Akurolo can advance. And that's what we're going to have. That's the discussion we're going to have today. Anyway, we just hit 5K likes. So if you want to talk about this topic, feel free to request and we can bring you up at this time. And we go from there. Absolutely. We go from there. Akurolo. Amonye Patraya. Whoever came up with that word. Whoever came up with that word. Shout out to that person. I won't wipe my mouth and my face. Whoever came up with that word. Shout out to that person, right? Because it's definitely a great idea. Definitely a great belief system to plant into any group of people. Definitely, absolutely. However, I think it's stopped. It hasn't evolved. It hasn't evolved from what the original intent was. It hasn't evolved from there. It needs to evolve from just bringing, what do they call them? Building houses. You look at the Southeast, there's this particular house where, I don't know, maybe by now they don't build and finish, right? Maybe by now they don't build that house finish, right? This house be like all these Roman Empire houses. Then they build them for somewhere. I need to turn on the air. I'm beginning to sweat. Give me 1 second. Anyway, I was saying, right? You get this house, this specific house where they see for internet. This house be like all these Roman, old Roman buildings where you go see where we get dome for the top. White House. It just be like White House for America, right? It just be like White House for America. You can only imagine the millions and millions of dollars we don't go into that house. You can only imagine the millions and millions and millions of dollars we don't go into that house. We one man they build. If that one man has that amount of money, why can't he work with another person, join that same amount of money, and partner, build a corporation? See Dangote Group, see MTN. Okay, MTN is not Nigerian, but Globacom, right? See Globacom. Which other one? I can't think of any other one, right? But anyway, you get the point, right? See Globacom, see Dangote Group. Build something like that where you go to see. You go to Ebonyi State, you have natural, what do they call it? Limestone. The infrastructure is there, or it's not like the infrastructure is not there in Ebonyi State. The infrastructure is there to tap into that limestone and have an actual. And here's the thing. Here's another thing, right? The market there for Southeast. Bua Group, thank you, Isamo. Bua Group. By the way, Bua Group just changed their name to whether HSM or something like that, I believe. Bua Group, they just changed their name, whether to HCM or something like that. It's still that corporation. Now, that corporation, what would they talk about? The change of name just means that more people have joined the business and they're expanding. We don't see it in IGBO. We don't see it a lot in IGBO. And if I'm wrong, please, somebody come up here and tell me. Now, I'm open to have dialogue and discuss, right? But I was talking about Ebonyi State. The infrastructure, it did there for limestone cement factory. You don't even have to focus on Nigeria as a whole. Focus on the Southeast alone. Focus on Southeast alone. Make your price be competitive. Let your price be competitive so that you can compete with Dangote. I mean, even if Dangote na guy man, if you sell at 1 naira, him bring it on down to 70 kobo, but still, just be competitive. And then put promotions out there. That time we grow up, we go here, sack loss paint, or kachama, sack loss paint, I forget, but because it's sang in Igbo, most Igbo people go one buy them because when you go market, you see say this one where the Kachi cement. When you see Kachi cement, you go one buy Kachi cement. You go say, nah, leave Dangote first. Dangote don't make plenty money. Make I give Kachi this extra 1 naira. Make him take build more plants so that the price go come down. That is how it is. Made in Southeast. Now, so then they do them. That is how you do it. Until you are at that level where you can actually compete with Dangote well. That is how it's done. There is no other way it's done. This one, a national product, what they talk about, the Webi cement, right? For that same Ebonyi, rice, then they grow rice for there. When Buhari put the rice importation embargo, right? Say make nobody import anything again, enter Nigeria, be food products. But you guys get the point. When Buhari put that thing, that law, say close the borders, I did not see the Igbo rich men come together and build a modern rice mill. I did not see it. Instead, till today, the same rice mill with the 19 Progodo, it's still there. It has not advanced to become what it can be. I never see it. I've not seen it. But again, if I'm wrong, I would like to know. Somebody come up, tell me. These things can work. These things can work. King K says Coast Charis tried rice mill a bit and it failed. Shout out to Coast Charis for trying. How about this? Try again. How about you try again? How about you re-strategize and try again? Start smaller. Maybe you try to go at a big scale. Try smaller. Try from small and grow and grow and grow. Abakaliki rice, very delicious rice. The Abakaliki rice, where we know, mama. Very delicious rice, right? The taste is different. You know, some people will prefer that taste of Abakaliki rice. But still, I believe now the stone go down reduce. But at some points, we knew, you know, Abakaliki rice was rice where stone the day inside. You know, I hope it has improved now. I hope it has improved. That time when we small, you know, Abakaliki rice, you go to select rice. You go to pick rice, they come out stone. And the stone self, they color like rice. Oh my, come on now, man. Come on now, man. Hey man, Chuku Kao came up from Facebook. He says, Akurolo, with this level of insecurity. I hear you. I hear you. I hear you. And that is why we also have to talk about the insecurity, right? We also have to talk about the insecurity. But that was another conversation for another day. That's another conversation for another day. Yeah, there is high insecurity. But then this is what rich men do. This is what they call lobby. Now, what in Oyibo they call lobby. How is it that our rich men, with all their billions and billions of dollars, how is it they need their feet think out of the box and lobby their politicians to fix things for them, to create industrial? I mentioned an industrial zone, right? If there is an industrial zone, then it will be the security for that area go day higher than maybe a regular area. Then businesses can thrive in that zone. Now, why didn't they create zones? You create this zone, you create this zone, you create this zone. From there, all the zones go merge at some point. We can't keep making excuses. Excuses no they help anybody. Excuses doesn't help anybody. Nigeria not be the only country we get insecurity problem. Nigeria is not the only country with insecurity problem. That's why there are zones. You create a zone. You lobby first. Create a zone. Then that zone obviously would be, the security in that zone will be different from from a normal area. You see what I'm saying? But hey, this is just me, right? This is just me. Waiting I sabi kwan beer paloma. When I don't drink my beer, I come here, they talk, waiting I they talk, Abby. Anyway, listen, let's keep liking and sharing and get more people here to join the show. And feel free to request. The request button is next to the comment bar. You see two people head there. Click them and we'll be able to bring you up if you want to have the conversation and talk about it. King, thank you for the follow. I appreciate you. Another thing I'm seeing, right? I'm seeing people like not people. I'll bring you up in a moment. Just give me a second. Make I just finish this thought within my head. But I'm seeing Asaba now. And shout out to Asaba. Shout out to Lagos. But Asaba is now benefiting. As they should anyway. Because they don't send anybody to allow insecurity to ravage their area, right? Asaba now is now benefiting from that same insecurity. You now see Igbo businesses moving to Asaba. Asaba now is benefiting from the insecurity where they worry our place, Igbo. Which is sad. Anyway, let's bring our first guest up here today and we go from there. Let's bring our first guest up here for today and we go from there. King K, thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. All right, Uyi Samuel, thank you for being here.
Thank you. Thank you for bringing me.
Yeah, what are your thoughts on the topic? Akurulo, mansions or industry? What are your thoughts?
You are making a very good point. It's something we've all dreamed about. You see, one spirit that I think we Africans don't have is this combined entrepreneurship.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to stand alone. Imagine if 10 persons, I have said it so many platforms, with just $50,000, 10 persons, we are good to go.
Yeah.
Just 2 days ago, I was talking about this in the Niger Delta as well. That what stopped us from building a refinery? I think 2007, I brought up the issue in one of our platform in Abuja. I said, look, we already have the oil. All we need to do now is build the refineries, smaller ones. When under Goodluck Jonathan, I think the bill was passed giving right to Nigerians to
Individuals, yeah.
actually own not just for the crude oil exploration, but for refining as well. And people were just bringing it down. The money is too much, blah, blah, blah. Where do we get it? I was telling them, what do you mean? There are some very rich dudes here who have the money
$50,000 is not. I mean, it's a lot of money, but it's not a lot of money. You see what I'm saying?
No, look at it this way. If you live abroad, like me, for example,
Yeah.
sometimes your bank used to call you and tell you, come, oh boy, now why you don't want to take loan? I don't know if they've done that to you. They used to do it always. They call you, we are seeing, because if you have the account you are using for your salary,
Yeah.
they see the salary, they see the benefit, the bonus is coming through that
Yeah.
account. They want you to take loan.
Yeah.
Because if you take long-term loan, they make more money.
Yeah.
If they are giving you 50,000, you end up paying 70K
Yeah.
after 10 years or so. So this bank wants you. What do bank do? Bank make money from loans, whether it is mortgage or whether it is just normal loan. But they make money from loans.
Yep.
They are not making money from little money people. If people deposit with them,
Yep.
they are making money
From loans.
from loaning it out.
Yep.
That is why bank always benefit from interest rate.
Yep.
That is why if you in the European Union, for example, they don't want interest rate to go too high, because when they say when interest rate is too high,
Nobody
banks
won't
are
collect.
Yes, banks are reluctant to give out loan.
Yep.
Instead, they themselves will loan the money to other banks. The
Mm.
smaller bank will loan to the bigger bank, so that they can make cash from
Money,
it. And
yeah.
that is why you see in Nigeria, because of the high interest rate, it's one of the reasons why the bank CEO back in Nigeria are very, very rich. Because they are making hell of money from
Yeah.
that stuff. So I have said this thing, and when I was saying it, people were okay. Now when Dangote now said he want to build a refinery, everybody start complaining. Oh, why are you putting the refinery in Lagos? Why not in Nigeria?
Why
When you
not?
want make it, he put am.
Why
Now
not?
when you want make it, put am. Look
Yeah.
at what you are saying. Now when you want make it, put am.
Yep.
The man is in Lagos. You say, may he come put the refinery for him.
For Niger Delta,
Or
yep.
may he come put am for where? Where you go, they take shop at the country.
They come.
They look in investment. He just put am for him backyard.
Yep.
Where you go just use the yacht, stroll, go check am, he go return, go house.
Yep.
Okay, now we have $20 billion investment. It has shown us now that it's something we would have been looking at long time ago.
There you go.
With $1 billion, we would have built a small modular refinery.
Absolutely.
There is a refinery in Benin that was built by some Chinese investor. The time I went to check, it was just about $200 million.
Hmm.
Just imagine that.
$200 million deal. I mean, it's not just though.
What I am trying to tell you is,
Yeah.
for some people, the money look big,
Yeah. True.
right? But if you already have access to it, like I said, if you now have a pool of persons together,
Yeah.
what stop 100 people from owning a refinery?
Absolutely.
I mean,
Absolutely.
what at the end of the day, these businesses that are owned by one person will also be owned by so many persons later.
Later,
That is how it
absolutely.
works. Because
Yep.
they will need to list their IPO whether they like it or not. And that is what Dangote is doing.
Yeah.
Most of the companies you find today that have lasted so many years, the people that really founded it are no longer there.
Yeah.
Bill Gates have sold almost all his stuff and left.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
that is how it works.
Twitter, Kwano, Twitter, the owner never sell them. Yeah.
The guy don't go.
Yep.
You know, so at the end of the day, that thing where we no want join together, we they see they carry our money, go they buy them elsewhere.
Unbelievable.
Like for example, my company where I work, they now said, okay, they used to give us dividend yield from the company every year. Sometimes it will be 800 euros, 1,000 euros. They will pay them to your account. They will say, this is not the yield we will make from after we make our
returns, yeah. After they make their profit
shares.
and everything, yeah.
Yes. So we now share them. So okay, people where they work with us now,
made them benefit.
They get their own part. So then I say, okay, we want to turn them around now. What we want to do now is say, instead of giving you the cash, paying it to your account because we go
use and buy stock for the company.
Make we convert them to stock. And some of our workers were saying, no.
Give me the money.
I said no. So I was advising them. So while we were doing the program, and I told the lady to put up the chart. I said, because some people don't understand. Put up the chart on the big screen, make all of us young. You know, she put them up, and I told them, look, this thing was just less than a cent, less than 10 cents 20 years ago. Today it's about 3 point something. I said, so don't you see? Everybody now said, you made a very, and somebody was not asking me.
Yeah.
Even this greediness whom they should say, it no be dash, they want dash us. So after all, not dash. So maybe we invest.
Why not invest it back? You know? Yeah.
Invest it back. So
absolutely.
That is how majority of us sign, and we now said, okay, we are going to be investing it back.
Yeah.
When I'm looking at it, I said, this is how it should be. This is something I found out that we are not doing.
Yeah.
So this topic you brought up, I want you to really work on it because it's something that is going to help a lot.
Absolutely.
Let me tell you one of the reasons
just
we are having...
help me round up with this thought so that we'll go move forward.
Yes. What I want you to do is to work on it.
Absolutely.
Broadly. Then
absolutely.
What this thing will solve, it will solve the problem of insecurity.
It definitely will.
People will get employed. I want to applaud you.
Thank you, my brother. Thank you so much. Appreciate you. All right, let's get to our next guest here, King K. If you want to unmute yourself, please, and thank you for joining.
Yes, thank you. Good evening.
Yeah.
Thank you for giving me this opportunity.
No problem. Thank you for joining.
When I saw your topic, and as an Igbo person, it's very interesting to me because I think a lot of things have changed, but our people refuse to change with the change.
Yeah.
So first of all, I want to talk. I have many reasons, but let me start with number one.
Absolutely.
I went to my village, and from Anambra, from Nnewi, I went to my village, and to a bad effect, we've lost all the green areas. We've lost all of them. The trees, like the sun can be beating you heavily. Like we've lost all the lands to mansions. People, there's no planning. There's no town plan. People are just building their mansions haphazardly. Some people there are no entrance to the places.
Man.
Houses are clashing against each other. There's no way. The houses are facing in different directions. There's no plan. People are just building anything they want.
Yeah.
We've lost our farmlands. We don't have green areas again. The whole place, you can't even feel like, oh, okay, I'm coming from town. Let me come to the village and relax. Do that and get that
village vibe. Don't go.
Village vibe. The fresh air that comes under trees, our mango trees, our dara trees, our pawpaw trees, our coconut trees, you've lost all of them.
Yep.
In the name of functions. So because this has caused a lot of issues between me and my parents and my kinsmen. We correct the lot. They always tell you, Akulu, you must come and build a house in the village. I told them
that is where it needs to evolve. Akurulo, yes, but it's not just that.
I told them I will never build a house in my village. We quarreled, they called me names. I said, they're not okay. If I build a house in the village, where will my children build their own? Where will their children build theirs? On which land? Land is limited. Land is limited. Let town be town, let village be village.
Yep.
Town is where you go and hustle. Village is where you come and rest, absorb the fresh air, eat fresh foods, relax.
Rural area. Yep.
Yes, and go back. But in the name of mansions, you will be surprised that someone in town paying rent, living in a rented apartment, is building a mansion in his village that he's visiting only once or twice a year. The house is there wasting. but that land can be used to an effective use for agriculture.
Yep.
You can build even a palm kernel.
Processing plant, nah?
Palm
Yeah. Palm
Yes,
fruits, not
yes.
just palm kernel, because the palm fruits, when you come out the oil, the palm kernel, you still use and do other things.
Yes.
You know?
A
Yeah.
lot can be done on different. You can just leave it as a green area. A
That
lot can
too.
be done. So second, so I had this argument. They said you must come and I told them I'm not building. I'm not building. It caused a big quarrel. And it's even a point. I don't know how we are so brainwashed that my parents are struggling in town. My parents are struggling. The little money we had, they rushed to the village to build a house. I couldn't. I tried to argue. I talked. They said I'm too small. They gave birth to me. I don't know anything. That this is what they went down, built their house there, and left it. Nobody's coming there. They now call. Since they built it, I refused to go there. Now they're begging me to come. I said I'm not coming because they cannot go. They cannot go because they need us to come.
Come,
We're
yeah.
not coming. I'm not coming. My siblings are not coming. This house this money you spend on this house, the bit of a good use to the town you are living in.
Yeah.
It will help us with house rent.
Yep.
This is where we spend most of our time in the
Yeah.
year. But you just run to the village to go. I don't know. It's because of ego. I don't know what it is. I can't. The brainwashing is top notch. I don't know who that brainwashing.
I don't know that it's a brainwash anyway. I think it's just the initial idea of it was that, you bring your wealth back home. It means to build a house. But we now, like you're saying, you are talking to your parents. We are the ones that need to get off of that idea and make it evolve. Evolve it into, especially from now and beyond. Any young person who still they think like that person definitely has a problem.
So I now ask them, okay, if I build here, where will my children build?
Yeah.
If we build on the small land we have, where will I build? Where will my other people build? Then secondly, I'm looking at the economic factors.
Yeah.
See, Kano State alone gave us Dangote cement, BUA cement, Mangao cement. Just for Kano State alone, controlling cement. Oil, and if you hear the trillions of naira they declare as profits every year,
it's
mind blowing.
Yo.
Now Dangote has built a refinery in Lagos. BUA is building another refinery in Akwa Ibom. The only oil refinery in Imo State, Watersmith, is owned by a Benue person. So someone from Benue. People, despite the noise we make on the social media, Igbo mansions, Igbo billionaires, I have not seen the tangibility of these billionaire status. I have not seen.
Yep.
We still do traditional trading, buying and selling.
Yep.
But e-commerce is taking over everywhere.
Yeah.
And we have not thought about transiting to e-commerce.
Yep. The same thing that happened to the music industry. The music industry, by the way. This thing we just talk about now, transitioning. The same thing that happened. Alaba market, which was also dominated by Igbo people,
Yes.
they do
Yes.
music, people who own the music business then.
All these CD wax,
CD and all that stuff. When the transition to YouTube, Spotify, all of them knocked out of business.
They couldn't even create one app.
They were all knocked out of business.
Streaming. They couldn't even create one app for music streaming. Don't come together and create one app for music streaming.
Yep.
So I was like, so where is this Igbo world?
Yo.
We are being overhyped to the point of killing us.
Yeah. I see. Afuku, I be big name with the key one kita. I hadn't talk that thing. Big name with the key dog.
I look at the whole. So where is this wealth? I'm not seeing it. Why can't you collaborate? See, it's very easy to be the refinery cement plant. It's very easy. A village or a state can create a sovereign wealth fund.
Yep.
And say we need $10 billion for a refinery and so place.
Yep.
And we are willing to sell one share for $1,000. that means we need to sell $10 million worth of shares.
Yeah.
10 million shares at $1 each.
$1,000, oh. $1,000, oh. $1,000 where even people wait for Nigeria self alone go bring them, you know?
Yes. So if you have to sell 15 million shares at $1,000 each to build the refinery in Igbo land, or even a state, Enugu, Anambra, it can pick it up, they contribute this money and build the refinery.
Yeah.
But we've lost the power of community coming together. We've lost that. I don't know.
Which is what we used to do. I've heard that the only airport for Imo State at some point, saying a contribution then contribute, take build that airport. That's what I've heard that. We don't do those things again. We've thrown all those things away.
This is something we need to create an Igbo sovereign wealth fund. These things can be done.
It can be done.
Someone that
it can be done.
Someone like maybe P2B can
it can be done.
This federal government thing I'm running for is not really what. Can I just help these people? You can say, okay, let's contribute money. Let's contribute money and do this thing. It is doable. It is doable.
Yeah, it is. Absolutely. Absolutely. But if you want to help me round up, at least for now, on this thought, so that I go pass the mic a little bit.
Just give me 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Then thirdly, I haven't lived in Nnewi. I've seen big businesses, and also in Lagos, I've seen big businesses. I've seen that most Igbo rich men are very egoistic. They build a personality around their business that it is very difficult to hand over to their children or make it or listen to them or go to our stock exchange and list it, have directors that run the company. It's very difficult. They want to build the alpha and omega of the business. They want to make all decisions on the business. They build other personality and ego around the business.
Yeah.
It's difficult to hand over to their kids. It's difficult to make it a limited liability company or list it on the stocks, to have directors. It's difficult to collaborate. The few times I try to collaborate, someone would just like to be the head of the company, to make all the decisions. They don't even respect that we now have to make, contribution to this business. Contributory, decisions on this business.
Yeah.
We don't really have, like, one person wants to be all and all. Like, I don't know whether it's narcissism or egoism. I can't really describe this.
Off your mic, Ginke, off your mic.
It's difficult to come together because one person wants to be the alpha and omega, all and all.
Yeah. Sadly.
Just want to take over.
Sadly.
Let's come together. Let's have equal
Igwe I think now Igbo people talk that one too. Yes. Igwe now we talk that one too. It's unbelievable.
One person wants to claim one person wants to claim superiority because
Absolutely.
by himself.
Absolutely.
Pushing others by themselves from the business. Then lastly is the power of government.
Yeah.
An Igbo person have never been a president, and it's hurting us a lot. I read this one.
I go push back on you. I go push back on this one, but let me hear where you come with it.
I read the story of Seplat Energy, the biggest one of the energy oil firm, how it was formed. They've been applying for licenses for a long time.
Seplat, an oil company, Abi?
Yes.
Okay.
Under Obasanjo, they are denied. Under Iradua, they are denied. They've been applying, they are denied. It was the moment Goodluck Jonathan took over that they were able to get their license. And they decided to operate, and they became one of the biggest oil industry player in Nigeria today. That will show you the power of having your person in the top of our face in the federal government.
I definitely agree. I definitely agree with you on that.
When I read the story of Seplat,
just hear me out, right? Just hear me out, my brother. Just hear me out. I definitely agree with you on that. I don't know the politics that was played during Obasanjo's time that didn't allow the license to be given out. I don't understand that, so I can't necessarily speak on that, right? But I don't know of any Igbo person currently who is actively applying for any maybe major license, like a telecommunication license, or maybe a cement license, or whatever license, and the federal government is refusing them. I don't know anyone, but if you know, you can point me to that person. So I'm not disagreeing with you that having your person at top positions helps. It definitely helps. But I don't know that even without that, despite that, we still cannot succeed. Do you see my point there?
No, see, yeah, no, like let me give you a few examples.
Okay.
Like even after I read the separate issues, how they able to come into force, I saw how important it is to have the person at the helm of affairs in
Yeah.
federal government. Two, if you look at the southeast, under previous governments, you see train tracks being built from Abuja to Kaduna, Katsina to Maradi. You see the same thing happening from Lagos to Ibadan. And none in the Eastern Corridor. None in the Eastern Corridor. For year to year to budget, none on the Eastern Corridor.
Yeah.
If you're able to produce in the southeast and you need to export, where will you take it to?
I hear you again. On that one, I hear you again. Just hear me out. Mr. Wofi, hopefully use this on Roundup. So currently, we have Dave Umahi as the transport minister. Now, what is stopping him from doing that? Do you see what I'm saying? What is stopping him from at least proposing it? Because obviously, it looks like he has a good relationship with the president.
He's just a minister.
Yes. But the people, like Amechi was also a minister when he initiated that railway line that crossed wherever it crossed, right? Now we have our own minister there. What is stopping him? You see the point I'm making, right?
Yeah, even Amechi said during his own time, there are limits. You can be handicapped because this money for these railways, they come from international funding.
Yeah.
And the federal government will tell them where they want this thing to be.
Yeah.
But as a minister, you don't really have what to say.
I hear you. I hear you. One second, Mr. King. We need to pass the mic a little bit, but stay put and just hold your thoughts. We'll go pass the mic back to you. But here's the thing, right? Lagos or not Lagos, but the Southwest, they have this Southeast Development Commission. They get their own Southwest Development Commission. And guess what they are doing? They are building a ring railway network that is going to connect the Southwest for them. We can also do it. This sovereign fund we talk about, it's one way that we can also use to connect ourselves. We can obviously hear me out. Yeah, no. To do that, maybe you need the licensing from the federal government, but the funding, we can do the sovereign fund, right? Our Southeast Development Commission chairman, he doesn't have this plan of railway where you talk about now, Mark Okoye, right? He doesn't have this plan on his blueprint.
We can't go and appoint a criminal and give him money on her behalf.
But we cannot keep making the excuses, my brother. We have the people in power. Umahi is there. We have Mark Okoye there. We cannot keep making excuses and expect to just have a president that's going to fix all our problems. If Peter Obi is the president, Mark Okoye may still be the Southeast Development Commission chairman. Umahi might still be the Minister of Works. If they're not doing it now, why do you think they will do it then? You see my point, right? But hold your thought. Let's get to the next guest. Just hold your thought. We'll get back to you on that. Make we go to our next guest and keep the conversation going. I appreciate you though, Mr. King, for being here. All right. Mr. Aeon, if you want to unmute yourself, please.
Yeah, my brother, I greet you. Happy Sunday.
I greet you, my brother. Happy Sunday. We're about to hit Monday, and I want to do this one now. I don't know. Let me see how many hours remain so that I go sleep. I thought I set an alarm. So that I'll go sleep. They say when you don't the old, you need to sleep early. So that when you sleep early, wrinkles not go fool your face when you don't the old. So that's what I'm planning to do.
I tell you.
That's how it be. Welcome.
Thank you, my brother.
Yeah.
Thank you. So basically, to your prompt, I don't think there's anything bad. I feel the two can actually exist. Do you understand? I feel the two can actually exist. But with Igbo land, do you understand? Our problem is the selfishness of the average Igbo, of the average Igbo man. Do you understand?
Where are you from, by the way? Make I know that you they cost me. Okay. Make I know that you they cost me. You they cost me and you. If you're costing two of us together, that one is okay. But you cannot be costing only me.
No.
All right.
I mean is that.
Go ahead. Yeah.
If you look at it, all the people that have talked, they made valiant points. Now, let me give an example.
Yeah.
Why is it that for Igbo land in particular, why is it that our people, both our so-called elites, that is both political and economic, why is it that they can't come together, like that guy said,
Yeah.
set up a sovereign wealth fund
Yep.
and begin to actually industrialize our region. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yep.
So why can't you look at Lagos, for example, look at Ogun State. How did Lagos rapidly industrialize? It was through PPP, public-private partnerships. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yep.
So the government brings maybe half of the fund, and then other private companies bring the rest, and then they carry out the project that they want to do, and then they make returns from that project. And most of these industries, they all have multiplier effects.
Yep.
Do you understand? For example, now if you have a modular refinery that is producing, let's say, 10,000 barrels, or that is refining 10,000 barrels a day,
Yep.
there are various value chains that can affect it. The workers that do the rig work, the transporters that will move the refined
Yep.
petroleum. You understand what I mean, bro?
Yep.
The entire value chain
Yep.
benefits the people. But these guys, they don't do that. Do you understand? Like you said, look at the SEDC now. I honestly thought when that SEDC, was going to be set up, that it would be a revolutionary thing for
IGBO.
that.
Yep.
Exactly. I thought we'll be using that to, go beyond what NEDC was doing, which was just doing, road.
Yep. This guy, his own is even worse. He's not even doing road. This guy is doing giveaway. This guy is doing giveaway.
He has not done anything.
Yep.
He's paying for a 1-bedroom apartment, 158 million.
Yep.
That now.
Yep.
I'm a henny.
Yep.
Do you understand? We know what is going on. So these are our people. These people are actually the problem.
Yep.
They are the problem. Do you understand? Because if you look at IGBO, especially Igbo people, especially what has happened to us, after the war, the whole loss of economic value and everything. Like, our region should be more focused on development. Like, all of us should be channeled towards that one place. Even if we don't have the leadership, we have some certain power. We have state powers. We have a legislative power.
And that's the point I was trying to make to Mr. Kincaid. Exactly. Well, you don't necessarily need the executive power. You still have governor owner, still executive now.
Legislature owns CJ.
Yeah.
Power to CJ. We have senators. We have House of Rep members.
We have ministers.
What are they doing?
Yeah.
What are they doing? They're not doing anything.
Yeah.
One has been there for almost 20-something years. The only thing he's shouting is Biafra. If I tell his people now, show me his constituency projects, I'm sure that guy ain't wearing anything.
Yeah.
I'm sure. I didn't sure. Let me not say I'm sure. I didn't sure because
he doesn't. I can pull up his what do they call that thing? There's a website where you go and track the legislators and the senators, legislators, all the bills where then they pay. Yeah, I say pay all the bills where then they sponsor. If I pull it up now, the last time I checked, 3, and one of them was about reconstructing constitution. Again, it's still geared towards Biafra, or it's still geared towards that Biafra. It's ridiculous.
You understand? And then, like, even if you see the Biafra this thing, it's supposed to be a mindset. Do you understand? So even if you cannot actualize it physically, but the mindset to operate the same system within the Nigerian space and still get what you want is still lacking. So even if it comes, it will still lack. Do you understand what I'm saying? These guys are not using, like you said, sackcloth paint. I'm close.
Sackcloth paint. You've been here since I started, so you heard when I was making that.
Paint. Do you understand?
Yep.
Destroyed.
Yep.
Now, not only sackcloth paint. If you remember in Abia State in those days, there used to be a lot of clay industries, a lot of pottery industries then. Do you understand? Nothing is going on, my brother.
Nothing.
Look at Enugu. Do you know that
Nothing.
They are exporting coal? They are exporting coal from Enugu State.
Coal that you can. Oh my God.
Understand, my brother.
Coal where you feel do electricity. You still the exporter to China, obviously to China.
To Chinese people now exporting it from there. So I don't know what has to happen, but I feel we as young people, I think maybe something has to change politically, because we can say what we want to say about individuals coming to, but based on the harsh economic environment that we have, we need the influence of our people in government to help.
Absolutely.
Like the way Lagos and the Ogun State are doing it through public-private partnerships.
Absolutely.
That's the only way we will build. Let me not say too much, my brother. Happy Sunday.
Happy Sunday, my brother, and thank you for joining, Jerry. I appreciate you. You good as no be only me they think what's in they think, right? A plethora of Igbo people they think, and so I'm glad to say I'm not smart. I don't go talk say Akachi is very smart. I'm not smart. Millions of Igbo people are thinking the same thing that I'm thinking, so I'm not smart. Anyway, we have a co-host here. User 94, you will give me 1 second. Choma is a co-host. We go bring her up so that we'll go hear her thoughts. All right. Choma, please, thank you for joining. Choma, make you unmute yourself.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can.
Switch network. Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Yes.
Welcome. Today's topic na Akurulo, want to know how we can evolve Akurulo, because as many people would know, the understanding of Akurulo now to make money for wherever you've made money, either in Nigeria or in the diaspora. You carry the money, come back Nigeria or Igbo land, you go build house. I'm saying, and most people here agree with me, that mindset needs to change. It needs to be industry, not house. Somebody from Nnewi earlier was saying that his village now, no land again. They don't build house full everywhere, But that's pretty much the idea of the topic. And thank you for joining.
No, it's a wonderful topic. So I'm gonna start personally. When I had the opportunity to do a little bit of work and have a little bit of an appointment working under Ihedioha, I worked at the Office of Diaspora Matters, like Office of the Governor on Diaspora Matters. The first memo that I wrote was on the industrialization of Owerri based on location, positioning, and a couple of things I had noticed, of course, as somebody from Imo State, somebody who's from Southeast and stuff. I have posted that in previous years, but I'm going to try to find it at some point and repost it. So I think that this Akurulo conversation, and I love the way that you described it, because Imana, one of the things we have to do is to understand the definition of things based on number one, intent. Ogendi. Oh, let me speak English because of catching. Okay, when our ancestors say Akurulo, Amaronye Pataraya, simply means that Akurulo, you can see it. It will be something tangible. Now, understanding why it is important to redefine things within the context of a generation is important, because when you are going elsewhere, going to different places, simply going back to your father's compound or to build something tangible like Olo, right, will be something to count on, so that somebody's okay, I think it's me. Okay, so now when you come into a different generation, you come into a different reality, there is need to not sometimes just even redefine the context for all of these adages and proverbs. This is a general thing that I name as Africans, where that's in where your papa talk, your ancestor talk 13,000 years ago. You go apply them in that way. How can you build mansions if there are no industries around it? One of the examples that I used in my case study for that memo was the fact of Hotel Akanri. When I wrote that memo, there were about 13 hotels on the stretch of place in New Owerri that I was. So people who know Protea Hotel, if you're going from that Protea Hotel in Owerri all the way to where Concord is, there are hotel, where you go count. Now, 12 was already functioning. The 13th one, they were building it. Hotel everywhere. Mansions everywhere. Now, Akurulo, Ahunye Pataria, every Christmas, everybody will enter convoy. Everybody will enter security. Now, there was a reason why our people used to do that before. But again, redefining something in the context of your reality matters. Because no matter how many trips you take to go to those houses, to those mansions for only 3 weeks, lizard and rats will probably live there more than us. Like my house now, for example, my dad's body is resting in it. Okay. Now, even if I end up moving to Nigeria and live in that house, I can't live into that house. Maybe I can probably live there only maybe once a week, then live in other places, right? Uh-huh. So now, because our generation and the previous generations have failed to redefine that, what do? We double down on the things that are not working. So, village no whatever. Look at Owerri in terms of distance. Owerri is the perfect place of industrialization, right? Not to say that any other places should not be industrialized, but I'm talking about in terms of proximity to Umuahia, proximity to Uza, Bagawa, and Port Harcourt, then proximity to the other side. So once you don't deal with it now, you built a hospitality culture without industrialization. So my point, right, in the argument was the hotels, nothing we fit do now. Say you don't build them, say you don't build them. But if every person who wants to do akurulo, you must put it in a tangible thing in our home. If you look at even the successes of those hotels, they operate on a weekend economy, or a special event economy, meaning seasonal. Is in a seasonal economy. Outside of those seasons, outside of that weekend, you essentially need to make money somewhere. They spend there and nowhere, but you will still be in your hotel most of the time. What are the things that are built around that industry? If you think about Las Vegas, for example, Las Vegas, you get when you are flying into Las Vegas, you go see a place where they build rich. Nothing they do again, just desert.
Desert, yeah.
Right? But inside Las Vegas, there is that boosts that economy of like you go there, do party, do although that hospitality culture, there are industries around that to make sure that you don't have to enter Owerri to enjoy life and then leave. Meaning that wealth comes in and it goes out, it comes in and it goes out, comes in and it goes out. It doesn't spread through. Because who is now living in, where if the politicians are not using those hotels and people don't come home for the season, that is a place where it's mostly people who work, like civil servants, what they are called, right?
Yeah.
Or Yahoo boy, or students where we say, even if you graduate, we'll bring it to the level of education now. For all of the universities in the Southeast, does not have enough industries to insulate even 10% of those graduates.
10% big now.
10% now because they cannot come like say, but if we look down, if it just be like 94%, right?
Yep.
And even then, where are they concentrated? Where's the concentration of that? When you talk about it, sometimes people say, if we were really caring about Igbo marginalization, I always make the argument that we can talk about post-colonial colonial Africa and what it did all day. But the thing where you get power to do, the way they within your power to do, understanding that for a place like Aba, for example, me and you, as we don't dare arrive now, should we even be talking about conversations about the possibility, not the possibility, the potential of what area market, what Newi market, what a main, the other market can do?
Onisha,
No,
yeah,
we shouldn't
main
be.
market.
Now, that's the way now that you have hotels, where I am the smartest people. I am the smartest people. I could rule on. Then our mansions, me, I not go lie you. In high school, us too, we use our mansions to push back on bullies. When Indocha come and bully you, come and say, do you have house in another country? I don't think so. However, internally, all we have now are just houses. You can't even convert some of those houses into, say, Airbnb. Have you asked yourself why it was so easy to galvanize a lot of young people in the Southeast into this agitation, the violence kind of it? Just think about the way your village is. Let me use Mbise, for example. Ndị nọ na Mbise na Like beyond, you're depending on one uncle, one getting wake up. You they drive Okada, you they maybe work at the local the LGA office, waiting as small trading, waiting else remain. You be teacher. What do you think is the prospect of a young person?
There are no prospects.
Southeast youth person who comes out of the Southeast.
No
Now,
prospects.
these are not limitations that are federal. These are limitations in vision and redesigning contextually within the era that you are in. We are still in an era of a like glorious days, like one that is fed by nostalgia and not data. Because I need nature, Karo mansion, eba yaga nye, ozu, eba yaga ndi compound agasna, iwu eflefu. You do not carry money from anywhere. You do not build anything anywhere. But all those people who now surround those mansions, where do they work? Of course, when there's something like agitation that comes up, that's where their mind is going to be. Because the dirt, I talked about this gap, this knowledge gap, and this is one of the reasons why they drag Igbo politicians and Igbo leaders. The knowledge gap that exists now to connect this akurulo as a concept into one that is contextually useful for our era requires critique. It doesn't require, it requires critique. Our problem as Africans is all we know is complaint. That is why when people hear critique of something end to end, it seems to them, here the complaint, here the hate, because if those elders can be honest with themselves, those young youths they look up to you. You go see one governor, you go see one politician for Niger, for our place.
Yep.
Let me remove it, but it's a Nigerian problem. You go see 50 youths where they dependent, waiting you they pay them stipend, and then you get stipend 50K. Even the ones where they inside bush, go to talk say, hey, they tell us they go do 25K, give us every month when Biafra come. That is why these type of dreams are possible. So how do you then mesh up mansions, industries, agitation, and then put all these things together? I think we have to get back to the drawing board.
We do.
And whatever that looks like, it's going to be Ajola Mundigo. All these people, when they call me anti-Igbo. Ask them. If I ask you what is the Igbo agenda, the Igbo political agenda in the past 5 years, I bet you don't even remember the last time our 5 governors went to any meeting. But I can guarantee you that the ones that the Southwest people are doing, that one we can point out. For over since the 70s, they have literally set up something where we say, it no matter who did their government house as a governor, every state go bring us something from their pocket. We go put them inside this thing. Yeah. What they use that thing do? They use them invest in banks. They use them invest in agriculture as a collective. If you are bound that way, now why it don't matter whether the political party or whether the person be their own political party or nothing, they go no say Southeast own for that side, don't they? When you talk to our own people, they go say, when Biafra come, that thing will happen. If Biafra come first, before you can realize the basics, like you said, this doesn't require extra intelligence. It just requires a vision around the reality. You don't dare Niger, be say you don't dare Niger.
Yeah.
We don't show, we say we don't show. They don't amalgamate us, we say they don't amalgamate us. We can then base the future of our Igbo on all of these other possibilities based on the things where we know they sit on. Meanwhile, when we look at our own villages, look at our own towns, look at our own city. Now, why back in the day, if they carry you go Niger, carry you go village, these Igbo children go say, I don't want to go there, I don't want to go there, because nothing they did.
Yeah.
But when they enter Lagos, enter Abuja, you're going to hear, hey, we want to go to Nigeria like next year, like, those are the things that it's in our hands. Nobody go do them for us.
Yep.
All our big boys, all our big whatever, most of their businesses are still based in those places where they call enemy territory.
Yep. And the new one now is Asaba. The new Lagos is Asaba. Sadly.
Yes, now, but Asaba had been slowly doing that because of Nollywood. Yeah. Nollywood was one of the things that they tagged onto. Now ask yourself how 61 OP Weka Road, Pound Road, Aba, Nollywood, that was Enugu, Aba, in terms of distribution, then Alaba, Lagos now turned backwards into this. During the time when they sit at home, people, they move production. They were already moving their production by 2017 anyway to Asaba in terms of like, you know, for safety, for things like land still day, especially when they like do that they're epic. When you tie these things together, you know, our people, I get to the point where we're so anti-fact and we're so emotional and sentimental or whatever. But who is supposed to do this now? If we don't critique this, who go do it?
Oh my God, man. Oh my God, man.
And in our own, and lastly, in our own case, the reason why it's worse is that every other region that we are doing majority tribe with, Hausa people, most of their richest people, I tell people this all the time. The fact that most northerners, the richest northerners, the main base of their business is rooted in the north. The same thing with the southwest is one of the telltale signs. Because, oh yeah, man, when that time they were doing sit at home, you don't see so many billionaires of Igbo, you know, see as they come out, come say, how will I go short this our commercial our commercial Aba down like this? Why? No, because their businesses, they had one shop in Asaba that can offset the loss they are making in Onitsha on Monday. They had their businesses rooted in Lagos. They had their businesses rooted in all those other places. So if we are homogenous the way that we already are, and we are saying that the reason why we want to leave is because these other people don't belong there. But now that all of us are now together, we be saying that Igbo people we they see all the time. How can we not see this little thing that has now become, you know, that small mustard seed where you plant and it don't become tree. This one now small thing where we say when we clocked this thing, we clocked it. We realized that the more we had brain drain living and we were not industrializing at the same pace. It's like okra. It's like how okra used to be cheap people food, like cheap poor people food before. But now, what is the problem? They will cut tree to build house. They will not replant the okra tree because okra takes years to do. Okay, now I'm going to agricultural school in the southeast. Why are you not studying something where you go alter them where we say you go they come up, you go they grow them intentionally. They say no. Oba is in your grania. If you are not inside one tent and they don't give you Oba and they don't give you Oba, you are not a big boy. Meanwhile, the solution and the problem they in our front.
Our hands.
It go take time.
Sadly.
But it's there our hands. And
Absolutely.
if our Kurula truly is what we really believe, we can have the mansions and the industries too. Thank you.
Absolutely. But you say something, if we say if we want to go, we know they go anywhere. Nobody they live in Nigeria. We die here. We don't come. We die for Nigeria. But again, thank you so much, Choma. Make we get back to the queue. Before we get back to the queue, actually, user, we're going to get to you in a moment. All these user people, I don't know. Sometimes when they like to come cost me here, because they like carry on a real handle. But we'll give you benefit of the doubt. And but just give me 1 second. Make I read some chats. All right. Onye says, well done, Choma. Absolutely. Thank you, Onye, for being here. Appreciate you. Think Right, thank you for being here. Slat says, Ogun State IGR. Okay, we're not going to read that. Onye says, I remember when movie marketing was based at Pound Road. But absolutely. And that time, not too far. I've been in secondary school that time. Pound Road, because I school for Abba. You know, Pound Road, St. Michael's, all those areas, you know, they go there, go jump fence. That time they work out all those areas, you know. But anyway, this time not too, you know, it's not too far away. Oh, ridiculous, but it's what it is. Anyway, make we see who else they here. Onye says, Choma made a great point here. Absolutely, she did. All right. Ibotic Pride, we'll get to you in a moment. Omotoyosi. Correct. All Southwest states have investment in Odua Group of companies. Yeah. All right, let's see. Southwest has Odua investment. Absolutely. Ibotic Pride says Southeast have an economic agenda and Okonji-Iweala was involved in drafting it. That's interesting. Hopefully when it gets to your turn to speak in a moment, you would explain that to us. I want to hear that. I'm glad that these things are there. You know, I'm glad that we're not. But, you know, if an Igbo man knows that Southwest own is there, Why don't me, Igbo man, why is my own hidden to me? You see the disconnect, right? There's a disconnect somewhere. If I know about the Odua, if I know about the Southwest people trying to build a rail line, I know these things. I'm not be a Southwest person, but I know these things. What is the disconnect? But at least I'm glad it's there. Whether Kachino or not, it doesn't even matter. I'm not like the superior, like if Kachino know, nobody should know. That's not what it is. But I'm glad you're here. You're going to educate us on that in a moment. All right. Eon says the hotels are used to launder money for corrupt state politicians. All right. Let's see. Boutique Price says Southeast governors had meeting 3 times last year. All right. That's good to know again. Just the same analogy what I give. If Kachi Igbo man no say Southwest people get all these things, why am I not knowing? It's not like Kachi is supposed to know because Kachi is the beer parlor man, right? That's not what I'm trying to say. But I think there's a disconnect because most Igbo people don't know. If we somehow know about Southwest own, we should know about our own. Anyway, but I'm glad it's happening anyway, and you'd share that with us in a moment. Anyway, let's look at YouTube. Let's see what's going on YouTube. Abdi says, where are you there for Dallas? I would like link up with you. I know they're Dallas, so he said, what's up from UK? DNW says, what's up from UK? Thank you guys for being here on YouTube. Dennis Chidex DK said hi. Thank you, Chidex. I appreciate you. And if you're on YouTube, if you've not followed me yet, just click the follow button. I've been subscribed. Now subscribe than I do for YouTube. Click the subscribe button. These are the kind of conversations we have every other day when we get the chance, to come up here and talk. All right, let's go to Facebook and see what's going on there. I don't believe anything is going on Twitch because Twitch, we are still trying to grow it. So I don't see anything. There's no traction coming from Twitch. But it's there if you want to be on Twitch. Anyway, let's go to Facebook. Facebook, Asogwa Leonard says, keep doing the good job, Kachi. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Abbas Olaleka Adegbiji says, SEDC, SWDC, etc. How do they appoint chairman? Is it by the president? Yeah, and a president, I believe they appoint chairman. Maybe there's obviously recommendations. There's going to be recommendations by the maybe senators, governors, all that good stuff, and then the president ultimately would make the final decision of appointing. I think that's how it's done, but anybody please feel free to correct me. Chukuka, okay, I think I've read this one. It says with the level of insecurity, But anyway, let's get back to the show. All right. User 94, if you want to unmute yourself, please.
Hi, Kachi. Good evening.
I greet you. Give me a name to call you to address you, please, since your name is user, so I can address you correctly.
My name is not user. I don't know what happened. I wanted to edit my name yesterday, and they couldn't allow me.
No problem. Just give me a name to address you for today.
Old English, yeah.
Old English.
Yeah.
I remember, that I go school for Oka. You get one Ngige, and Ngige get that allegedly. I don't know that I own, but that time with the years and Ngige get that hotel for Oka, Old English hotel.
Because there for you had Old English boutique. Yeah.
Okay. For Oka, then get Old English. Shout out to Old English hotel. I almost drowned for their pool. Anyway, thank you for joining Old English. Thank you.
It is Kachi. There's something I wanted to point out to you. This is my 5th or 6th time always listening to your program.
Thank you.
It's always while at work.
Appreciate you.
But Kachi, to be honest with you, don't always see Igbos or use your platform only for critics of the Igbos alone, or see Igbos as people who has no direction, or who, in fact, who are just wandering in the wilderness without direction.
Make I just respond to that, right? Let me respond to that. I know that critique can seem like, or stuff that I do can seem like, I don't know, I don't even know how to express it, right? But it's not critique per se. And yeah, it's critique. Make I not run around. I'm trying to run around it. It's critique, but it's good critique so that we can hold ourselves accountable. Is that a bad thing? Is that a bad thing? I'm not saying Igbo people are foolish. That's not what I'm saying, right? Is it what you're getting from my show? Like when you come here, is that what you get? Is that the vibe you get?
If I should speak for some minutes so that you understand.
Yeah, okay, but just hear me. Just respond to this and then you can speak as long as you want. But I'm just saying, when you come to the show, do you hear, and this is a feedback, you're giving me a feedback and I want to improve on it. That's why I'm asking the question. Just hear me out. When you hear the things from my show, do you hear Igbo people are foolish? Is it what you're hearing?
Honestly, yes.
Okay.
Like like, to be honest with you,
Okay.
the picture generally, or 80% of the picture you paint is like Igbos they always cry, even when no one is beating them. Like you, I can't walk into your studio now or into your house, take off your hat, take off your headset, take off your mic, and at the same time tell you keep quiet. I don't want to hear you speak. It will be boiling in your heart to a certain level that you'll be misbehaving, either talking to yourself or talking to the wall or anything that is around you. Let's just picture the southeast or the eastern region before, let's assume 1983, during the time of Simon Mbakwe, Old East Imo State, during when somebody was talking about industrialization of Imo State, of Igbo land. You will understand the concept of where they were going, where the leaders of those days were going. Like when you're talking about Akurulo. Akurulo doesn't mean empty houses. Like the previous person that was saying, talking about
Old English, please, just give me 1 second. Please hold your thought. I know you're now getting into the topic, and that's obviously what I like to do, right? But I want us to finish this conversation because, if you write tests, so for abroad, if you go school, when teacher give you exam, teacher go score the exam. Then at the end of the semester, the teacher now will have to send a review. I'll be waiting in the column so that the students now weighing down score finish, they go give them their own review. So this is what you're doing, and I like it and I appreciate it. I want to talk about that for just maybe 2-3 minutes, and then we'll move forward, right? How I'm seeing it, what I'm doing is, before I came to before I started doing live shows, I used to talk about just random Nigerian stuff, right? But I noticed that no Igbo person was talking about Igbo advancement, how Igbos can improve, how Igbos can be better. Because I see the loopholes, I see the potential. Like Choma mentioned Abba, like you can't tell me that you don't see the potential in Abba. So I see that nobody is talking about these things. So I took it upon myself to say, let me talk about my people, Igbo advancement. But it's sad that it's coming across as I'm saying Igbos are foolish, Igbos are crazy. But that is not in my head when I talk. Say some people, when they go abroad, they go begin to speak accent, right? For their head, they sound like say them be the real Igbo, but in reality, they're sounding crazy, right? You see what I'm saying? So maybe that's where I am now, because in my head, I think I'm doing something nice. But the people I'm giving it to, they're seeing it differently. You see what I'm saying, right?
Can I speak on this one, what you just said?
Please, and hopefully we can move forward from that. Yeah.
I am not saying that what you are doing is not good, because you criticize somebody. When you push, you give a break. Like, you don't just keep like I have somebody who while growing up who will be telling you, I'm going to teach you how to read. But at the process of teaching you how to read, before you could have read 2 pages, you must have flogged you not less than 50 to 100. So how are you going to read or understand?
Yeah. Yeah, I hear you, my brother, Old English. I hear you.
He's teaching you how to read. He's teaching you how to read, but automatically that thing that you are reading, you are reading for the sake of reading, not for the sake of understanding or installing it in your head. You are doing a great job. I appreciate it, because it's not everybody that will come out boldly on a social media or put his face on the screen to speak to correct the ill manners or the characters that are going on. Like now,
all right. I'll take that one. Thank you. I'll take that one. Thank you.
Let me hit on one of your guests or one of the co-hosts said, and Choma said, he was part of Ihedioha's government that is 1 year in Imo State. I am from Owerri. Within that 1 year of Emeka Ihedioha, or within the 16 years of his administration as this thing, these are the leaders, these are the opinion molders, these are the think tanks of Imo State. Whether you take it or you leave it.
Yeah, 1 second. Make I talk about the Ihedioha and Choma's role. I don't know exactly. She just mentioned her role, by the way. She said she was heading the diaspora matters. That is just a specific specific
Hold on.
area in the
No,
government.
we're talking
I don't know
about
where you're coming from with it.
industrialization. No, he's talking about the industrialization and the hotels and these. Those, when you don't live in Owerri, you won't understand all those octagon hotels that are along Concord Avenue, World Bank, Port Harcourt Road. You would think that those things are empty houses. It's only for politicians. It's only for weekend. I bet you, Imo State. The problem that Imo State has since the return of 1999 to today is that we have chose to elect idiots as our leaders.
Okay, give me 1 second again, Mr. Old English, because you've mentioned Choma. I would like her to. I don't know if there is any, because you've said something about her, and you didn't necessarily go push further to say maybe you want. I don't know if you're trying to blame her for Ihejua's government. I don't know if that's where you're coming from. However, I think 1 second. I think this conversation. Just hear me out. Just hear me out, Mr. Old English. Me and you, we're going to have a very long conversation because I also want to hear your thoughts on this topic, which we are going to do until I cut you, right? So please just hold your thought and be patient with me, right? I go invite Choma if she's interested to, I don't know, or maybe you first explain why you mentioned her and the hotel, so that hopefully she can explain her argument in that regard, so that all of us go move forward, so that all of us go there on the same page, if that makes sense.
Okay,
yeah,
no problem. She mentioned those hotels as empty, not in good investment and all those things. And what I'm trying to tell her is that the government, the governors that we have in Imo State or that have ruled Imo State, including the current administration now, is visionless. Those hotels that you are talking about, Mimi Hotels, the Angels, All Season, going all the way to Port Harcourt Road, World Bank. Those hotels, people flew in from various states to come and stay there every week and do what? Stay, enjoy their lives within the weekend. Some people operate from there to their various states every week. Some people who live in Lagos, when you think that they're living in Lagos, they live in Imo State. If you want to prove me wrong, go to Imo Airport in the morning. So, but when you don't understand, like when they was talking about industrialization, people are really doing things. It's just that Imo State in particular is yet to have a visionary governor who will sit down and articulate. Because if you go back to the time of Mbakwe, you can see that industrialization of old Imo State was one of the things that is on his table.
Absolutely. But I'm trying to limit. I know we're going to have a long conversation ultimately, but let me try to maximize it, or make the most of it, right? I don't even know if Choma would want to respond, but I would try my best to respond to this. Okay. I was going to help you talk because I think you said the same thing that he's saying. Okay.
Let me tell you a challenge, because every time I tell you this thing, they like hearing. There's something called mansplaining. I literally talked about the weekend economy. I talked about a memo that I wrote. First of all, I was an EA to Office of Governor on Diaspora Matters. I mean, the appointment was like before the whole Supreme Court thing. Now, I'll tell you why conversations like this never get to anywhere. The first point is 80%. If 80% of a show is denigrating Igbo people, that is not an identity that you should take lightly. Because the reason why is we are in a conversation where I literally said weekend economy. I used the contrast of Las Vegas. I spoke in detail about those hotels. It's not about people living in them. The whole point of a weekend economy is not whether people live in there. You forget that memos are written based on data, not about your emotions or your sentiments. If you have a weekend economy, what does that mean? That's exactly what you're trying to mansplain something I have already explained. But there's a way to inject Chioma into it somehow so that it will sound a lot better. That is one. Now, number two. Now, I would never speak for you, right? But because I'm co-hosting today, I will. If this program you do went in any other way, which was every day you open a room and you're talking about how the enemy of progress of Igbo people was other people, nobody would ever accuse you of this. If we're talking about, you do your programs maybe once a week. It is important sometimes to correct things, but it's also important to stand your ground. You do your stuff maybe at the average, if we're using data now and math, maybe 2 times a week. Sometimes I don't even see you the whole week.
Yeah.
But Sunday and some other times when they get time after work, you go fit host a show. In those shows, 80% of it, maybe 60% of it is Igbo specific challenges, critiques, things where if you bring this thing up, you better say that Igbo person bring them up. Because you know, go get where, I tell people this all the time. If you grew up in Nigeria, there's a certain type of enemy mindset that is already ingrained in your head, that every type of critique to you seems. So the best thing is for the people from that region to do the critique.
Yeah.
So that it can be internal. So that you can be, you're saying, okay, if somebody who does 2 shows a week on the average, compared to, and then some of your shows last maybe 3 hours, sometimes 2 hours, maybe some of the Sunday ones every now and then go last 4 hours. What are the discussions in those things? Now, if you sat every single day for 5 days, 3 hours every day, telling Igbo people the things they want to hear, nobody talks about how it's repetitive and how you're saying the same thing, or coming to somebody's house and come out their cap. You want them not to complain. And you ask, who did that to us? We are talking about Akurulo right now, which is an internal discussion, which is why
Choma, thank you for helping me to stand my ground. Mr. Old English, just 1 second, please. Let her finish her thought. Let her finish her thought, please.
Okay. You didn't allow, and you do this all the time. You even see me do, and I will tell people who follow me from Facebook, say, make una sit down for good luck for this one. Oh, this one, our internal discussion. Oh, I don't go want to make anybody else put mouth. Now, so you did one. And that's the way that it is done. Now, if you are saying those things, and you are saying those things, Igbo, somebody should be able to say, this is exactly how you denigrated Igbo people. If you're talking about Akurulo, we're having a conversation about it. The problem is we became anti-facts and so emotional. That weekend economy, or whatever, and what is the population of Igbo states that people who cannot afford 30,000 naira for a hotel room, the basic hotel room today, I'm not talking about before, I'm just saying based on the Forex exchange or whatever. Let's say the cheapest one is 30. Of course, Protea. I'm not talking about those ones. How many people who live in a non-industrialized zone, who are regular, I'm not talking about weekend economy people who come into that economy and spend in it, but they don't work in that economy, so they have to leave to go make it and bring it back there. How many of the Owerri natives live in those hotels, can afford to live in those hotels as a house choice or even as a weekend option? That is the whole concept of weekend economy. So when you're going to quote me, it is essential that you quote me directly as I said it. Don't try to mansplain what I'm saying. I said what I said because I know what I said. People who matter read it. Now, you can talk about implementation. Of course, I had the post for like 3, maybe 4 months before the whole Supreme Court thing happened. It was just a memo. I said it's the first thing that because my whole job there was to be a strategist and critique all of the proposals that came into that department for people who want to invest in Owerri. That's literally what my job was. So if I bring that up, is to tell you that yes, vision is important. It is important for leaders to have the vision, but it goes beyond vision. Because you feel right, memo. As long as you're not in an elected office, it gets limitations for what you can do and cannot do. So if you want to call Chioma Amereles, stand on it and say exactly what it is that I said, because I'm here and I'm going to defend myself, and I think I have done so. Thank you.
Absolutely, and I couldn't have said it
better than you, obviously, but you know, anyway.
Mister, you see, if you want to give me time to speak, you give me time to speak.
You
Give
will.
me 1 minute.
No.
And because I have, like, you are busy, I am busy.
Absolutely.
So if I make out my time to participate in your show, when you give
and
us
I thank you. And I thank you. And I thank you for taking out that time to participate in my show. I appreciate you. I thank you. Make me hear her.
One thing that she just said now, the Owerri natives. Owerri natives are how many? And who are the Owerri natives? Are you talking about Imolites or the Owerri natives? Now, I don't want to dwell into hotels and all those. We are talking about Akurula.
Akurula, yeah.
Which is one of the major problems that we need to deal with. That was why I told you that one of the major challenges that we are facing in Igbo land today is that we are yet to get good governance, elected good governors. If we can be able to have 3 Alex Oti in 3 states in Southeast, I believe where we are today is not where we are going to be in the morning.
Absolutely.
Because I was asking somebody a question: how did Professor Charles Soludo become a professor, and who gave him that professorship?
I go take praises, but I don't go take like like bashing, because bashing they come with repercussions. So I don't want any repercussion on you or myself. But I go take praises like Alex Oti. I definitely agree with you. Shout out to Alex Oti, by the way. But as far as bashing on Soludo, even though I disagree with a lot of things that he's doing or not done, but I would like it to be more objective instead of looking like a bash.
I just asked a question. We are just having a conversation of industrialization.
I don't know where he got his professorship. I don't. Yeah.
I just asked a question.
Okay.
Which maybe that can be answered by 2050 or by 2100, depending on who is going to answer it. Like now, we are talking about St. Michael's Road, Aba, and this all those. You can see that we have currently they have a governor who have a blueprint, who have a direction, or where he wants to take his state to. Like I told somebody, to build a railway from Aba to Enugu will never cost up to $500 million. It is doable.
It
under
is.
3 years.
Absolutely.
Then I was watching Arise TV, that should be last year or thereabout. I had an interview from one Michael. If you go back to the OG, ask that lady a question, that guy that question. Why is federal government always being careful when it comes to East Railway Corridor line? Because it's leading to Meduguri and Port Harcourt Railway Corridor line. Because whenever you build that railway track line, the cost of Lagos will be collapsed. So federal government is always being skeptical when you always come with that issue of railway construction.
Why do you think this? This is where I'm going to push back. Why do you think the federal government is weary of a corridor that would connect the east to Maiduguri? Why do you think?
You see, nobody wants to lose in a battle. Nigeria has been designed in such a way that a trade is concentrated on one port. That is why that corridor line, that railway corridor line, is not being achieved.
All right. Let me also say something, and I hope you would be rational about this, right? I'm guessing that your thought process here is, and I think we're even digressing from the topic of Akurula, but let's talk about it a little bit and hopefully get back to Akurula, right? So, Lagos has a seaport, right?
Yeah.
Maiduguri is somewhere in the north, not bordering, and is not on the coast, somewhere.
Yes.
Now, the east is also somewhere in the south, not bordering any coast.
Are you with your map? Are you with your map? Can you come up with your map on the screen?
It's going to take time. We know where these things are. Right. Maiduguri is not on the coast.
When you're talking about it, why I'm just trying to...
Hear me out, though. This one, a fact now. This one, I'm not making this up. Lagos is on the coast. Maiduguri is not on the coast. The southeast is not on the... I'm not making... You understand? You know what I'm saying, though, right? Do you understand what I'm saying, right?
Listening to you.
No, not listening to me. It's a fact. I'm not. If you think I'm lying,
I know where they are.
Okay.
That's why you asked a question.
So the picture I'm trying to paint here is there is no what's in the column now, mastermind that is thinking, oh, let us not build a railway that will connect Southeast and Maiduguri, because if we do it, the business that is coming from Lagos will not come again. There's never a time in Nigeria that Lagos will not be a very busy port. The Southeast still relies on the ports, the coastal, like Port Harcourt, maybe Akwa Ibom, Delta, and Lagos, because we are not on the coast. So whatever thing you're saying, it just doesn't line up in my head like any good reason why the federal government will be limiting it.
You know, I don't want us to dwell in this topic. I wish, and I will write you on, I will inbox you,
okay,
so that we bring it then so that any day we are coming up with this topic,
hopefully we can get into it on a different day. Let's go back to Akurulo. Yeah.
Now we are talking about the issue, like I told you, that to build railway from Aba to Enugu or Onitsha, it's not going to cost up to $500 million. Because when you said governor of Abia State should bring money to construct Okigwe, and Imo State should take from there to head towards his own boundary, Anambra State take to Enugu, you can see the chain, or then Enugu State take to Ebonyi State. You can see that they are basically going to connect to each other, because when you go back to the colonial railway track built by the British people, taking it to the to Port Harcourt, you will see the connection, how it was built. It's not a big deal. Just that we are yet to have governors who have a pathway. Like, yes, he had your. To be honest with you, when he became governor of Imo State, within the 9 months of his administration, had a blueprint that he wants to follow. Unlike Rocha Sokorocha, who came into Imo State on the platter of, we want our person to be there or to rule us with good heart, and destroy the state. Alongside with who was because when they do Southeast Governors Forum, what actually do they discuss?
I don't know, and that's a good question. But in essence, Akurulo, do you think that it's about mansions, or do you think it should be more of industries? I know you're kind of putting it on the government, and I know government has a role to play, absolutely. Previous guests and myself, when I introduced the topic, we should have a fund, some sort of a fund. It shouldn't even be like one fund. It should be, Abia have their own fund, Enugu have their own fund, where they're tapping into diaspora money. People waiting for Nigeria, tap into it, generate money, back them up by the FDIC, so that people at least go get trust, with insurance, federal insurance and stuff. I understand that aspect, but in regard to the topic, Akurulo, what are your thoughts in general, so that we'll hopefully use them round up?
This is where this Akurulo of a thing.
Yeah.
Because when the government doesn't create a enable environment, it will never fly. True. Like now, when you go into Onitsha Road, if you're from Imo State, going into Onitsha Road, Coca-Cola area, going towards that industrial cluster, you will see some companies that were closed down. Reason, government policies. What crippled Abia State, Aba, is government, Abia State government policies. Then individually, how? Because the individual, because that was why when I said, when you are hitting on the evils, don't hit at them like they don't know. It's just that we don't have governors or leaders who has things upstairs to offer, who are thinking about our own collectively. They are only thinking about selfishness.
Absolutely.
Like the person that is the chairman of Southeast Development Forum, instead of you to have an office in Enugu State, you went and rent a hotel, according to Ojus Okal, or rent an apartment in Abuja. You paid 150 million naira a year.
Yeah, which is a shame.
So
But And,
Yeah,
we as Igbo people, we also have
yeah.
responsibility. I'm not taking away responsibility from the government. I don't know if you were here when I introduced the show. I think we can do it. And most of the guests here have also agreed. I think we, individual Igbo people, can do it. Dangote Group, do am. Dangote do am or group do am. Bua do am. Globacom do am. We can do it. Choma mentioned most other big players like the Dangote them, the Bua, any other billionaire in Nigeria that is not Igbo. They are domiciled majorly in their region. Our Igbo billionaires, they know they for our region. We know they do corporations. We know they come together, like bring our world wealth together, build corporations.
What's the name of this guy from an Abia state? There's one guy. He's just like Dangote. I've forgotten his name. He's from Abia State. He between Abia State and between Okigwe
Arochukwu
and
side.
Yeah, he's from Arochukwu side. Between Abia State and Ebonyi State, he bought almost 100 hectares of land. He's I don't know if he's the owner of Tommy or something like that. Bought his oil and whatever. He lined it up there. When you go to Nev, you can see that people that are like Tony Mas and all the rest, they established that this thing. Why is this?
These are individual. We're talking about a national brand. If you ask the average Yoruba person or Hausa person who Tony Mas is, they don't know who Tony Mas is. If you ask yourself, they struggle to remember the Abia State man. You see what I'm saying? So
Uchoga.
That's the person you're struggling to remember his name, right?
Yeah,
so the average Yoruba person or Hausa person doesn't know or don't know these people. So that is the points we are trying to make here. But I hear you, my brother. I think we've had quite a lengthy conversation. If you want to summarize so that we'll go move forward. Yeah.
One of the things that I would like you to also preach to my fellow Igbo brothers is, because this thing is one of the things that is killing us, which is sole proprietorship. Sole proprietorship has, in a way, destroyed us, destroyed our businesses. Whenever you go, your business will go. Like a typical example of it is IKB, Tura Soap. You can see how all those companies went down.
Even Obuawa, I don't even know whether Obuawa still exists. Obuawa.
It does.
Obuawa still exists?
Okay. Yes, but just that because they don't have franchise, they don't go into a partnership with any other person. And everybody wants to answer this one. This Ogbuefi number one, Ogbuefi number two. Everybody wants to say, I am in partnership with this person. So if you can use your platform and preach sole proprietorship, partnership with others. No, teach us how to do sales and.
I'm not a financial expert. I have broad ideas. I don't know if you teach anybody anything,
You can still say the ideas to them, because since you have the platform to make this for people to reach out to, people can still come here.
Absolutely.
To learn a lot.
Absolutely.
Like me, Chola might be feeling that I'm attacking her. No, I only learned from you, and you corrected me. At the same time, you learned from me.
Absolutely.
That is all I have to say.
And that's what the platform is about.
So that is all we are here for. I'm not here to fight anybody.
Absolutely.
Imo State is a state. Yes, it's all predominantly for civil service, but it's gradually moving into industries.
Yeah.
If you go into Port Harcourt Road and World Bank, it's just that since let me just say within one left, 2007, we are yet to have a governor that have a direction. Period.
I mean, I love Alex Oti, right? Shout out to Alex Oti. I can speak on Alex Oti any day. Say he's the only Igbo governor that I can think of that actually has a direction and has an actual direction where he wants the state to be. But Mr. Old English, I really appreciate you for joining. I really appreciate your time. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. All right. We don't have any new guests, and we don't hit our 2-hour mark. We just hit our 2-hour mark. I'm going to allow Choma, if you have any final thoughts before I call it a day for the day, and make I go sleep. My beauty sleep. Anyway, Choma, do you have any final thoughts?
Yes. Oh, this one went by really quickly.
Yeah.
So I think that one of the... I'm going to say something generally, and I'm going to speak specifically to the point and then close with it. One of the things, and I'm going to repeat it again, and I'll keep repeating it, we have to get to the point where we must understand what the difference is with critical thinking. and we can definitely see where we should be headed. There's a lot of knowledge gap, a lot of, and it comes from having, and I love this, what our generation is doing differently, where there's no one supreme leader. You know, like Kachigo they do it own, Chioma go they do it own, because that's what you need, right? To be able to, because it has to be all hands on deck.
Yep.
The reason why we must critique, because it started 80% of this room denigrate, but now it's still your same platform. They are asking you to now use to teach. So which is it? Critique is not people say, oh, is it positive critique or negative critique? The truth of the matter is the reason why businesses expand. It's like when you get a strategist on your team. The reason why businesses expand is not because they are just resting on their laurels and just saying, this is what we are doing so great. Yes, that thing you're doing great is great. We are already Igbo. We know where our greatness is. But now that small weakness, now they carry over. They affect the greatness. Nobody else can speak it but us.
Yeah.
Nobody can point it out but us. We were talking about the SCDC, for example, and everybody bring it up and pause. The difference between SCDC and SWDC is that it's not just that initial funding from 1970 something. The states now, each governor, when you enter that seat, you don't already know, say, their portion where you go, bring out, we go put out for Odua investment scheme. You don't already know. So it no matter whether you be APC or PDP or FPC or all the A's and the P's don't matter. Because once you don't get there, you don't already know. Like, it's like paying tithe for people who do. Or like maybe paying tax, for example, where we say, say that paycheck, something don't go
come out already. Yep.
Yes. Now, we're talking about the SCDC and we're talking about how appointments is done. Nobody even kind of sort of understands that part. But beyond that, what is it that sustains the ones that other people have? Because even if you claim that other tribes are your enemies, the only way you can, you must at least margody how the game is played before you now start deciding who is your enemy or not. Maybe you go know what in it. Learn from the things that I've been doing right. I don't think that is my job. If you will never see me go to put mouth in what Yoruba people are doing. Because now them go point out waiting their own. Now me, they go southeast. Now me go live there if I want to live there. Now my village, now my people. So now us go use our platform, use our mouth, say, for the things where we already admit, say we know, say we they do right. These are the ones where we know they do right. And if we destroy our Libo, now still us go cry. If we buy our own people, now still us go cry. If we not develop, we're talking about industries now. Somebody say, oh, well, it's like the guy that is like Dangote. First of all, Dangote is richer than the richest person who is in Britain. So he's the richest person in Africa. The gap between him and
the richest black person alive, no be just Africa.
Alive. But I'm saying too, in terms of the UK, for example, the richest person in the UK, I think it's Branson or whoever the richest person is, check the money that they are, whatever. You're saying, so it is important to, and I think we have also gotten to this generation where we say there's a certain level of ignorance that can be excused. It's okay to say, me now, you don't go see me any soccer stage they talk. I know, waiting I know for soccer. Now my mom still knows soccer. I go ask those people where they carry blue, carry red, who be there, those people ahead. She go tell me. But the point we are making here is this. If you and I do not note that vision, somebody saying go to YouTube and go and see the one that Okonjo-Iweala is not the minister of anything in Nigeria right now. Why should I need to go and verify it on YouTube? For you should already know. You when they tell me to go there, you should already be able to tell me now. So I go say, oh, I don't know that one. No, make I learn now. We also have to get to the point where we realize that if we know do them, who go do them?
Who's going to do it? Yeah.
If Akurulo Otaisine just needs to be reformed. Just like we they talk about that one boy something, we say, okay, yes, we know say we don't carry and reach Harvard, we don't carry and reach international bodies, go they study us. But how do you reform and improve it for your generation? That's what then informs continuity. The whole point of this thing where we they talk, Okwana will continue with it.
Yeah.
So that I will not need to tell my son or tell my daughter or tell my offspring, say, hey, you have to go to Nigeria because it's the cultural thing. They go see why when they get to Mbise or get to Anambra or they get to Umuahia. They go know why they need to come there.
Yep.
Do you understand what I'm saying? And these things come from, and then, yes, leadership, that leadership gap, I think all of us accept that the leadership gap is there. And the thing about it is that this election that is coming up now, you see how when we bring this thing up now, somebody go vex. NAS, National Assembly, the people who make laws, the legislature, the executive arms of our states, those people affect our lives more than the federal. How is that? Because the people where you know vote for now, if they somehow make themselves available in Abuja, not be in your interest, they go to represent. They go to represent the interest of how they go get elected to be ranking member next 4 years.
Yeah.
So there's also that part of civic responsibility. You will be individual. What do you know what your civic responsibility is to the Southeast? And that thing is not saying we should not criticize it. We are criticizing it because we want to sharpen it so that it can be better for us, not just us, but our offspring. So that as our parents don't crawl, we don't need to crawl again. We can now run and fly and make sure that the Southeast is something that generationally we can point to how we improved it from generation to generation.
Absolutely.
We can have the mansions and we can have the industries too. Very much.
Absolutely. I like how I know you said it earlier, it's kind of went over my head. You said we can have the mansion. Now you talk again. You say make I the clock Yeah, I'm clocking it now. Yeah.
Because we can have the mansions.
Yeah, you can have the mansions and the industry. Absolutely. Yeah. It's not this or that. You can actually have both. Absolutely. And that makes a lot of sense. And with that, we've come to the end of today's show. Thank you so much, guys. Make I just shout out a few people here. Obviously, Choma, thank you for joining. Onye, thank you for being here from the very start. I appreciate you, Onye. Radio Real Estate, make una check her out. She sell real estate. CX Xavier, thank you for being here. Uyi Samuel, you're still here on the stage. Thank you so much. You made a very good submission earlier. I appreciate you. Wamax TV, thank you so much. I believe I was on the stage with Amarachi and we had a conversation. So shout out to you. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you. Ruby, yes, thank you. Ben Len, Positivity, Bola Bolton, Bonfire Studios. Think right. Think right. That seaport. I know say that seaport make you they pursue me everywhere I go. But we are going to give you that seaport very soon. Anyway, Uzi Cods, Sami Muyi, Torpedo, Ola from Home, Kaches, Chinedum, JK, Orisakwe, MSO, The King, Adedoyin, Badero Memory, all the other beautiful people here on Facebook, on YouTube, on Twitch. We go get to that very soon. I know you guys are watching. Thank you, guys. And Choma also made she mentioned something about One Boy. That's a show that I've been wanting to have, but I'm glad she said it now. I don't write them down. When she said it, I started writing down. That's a show I'm also going to have, to talk about how we can evolve. I don't have the ideas like my brother, I forget his name now, Old English, was saying I should teach. I just have broad ideas. I make these shows so that the people that are smarter than me can come and we can talk about it and see how we can evolve it, how we can, bring it down to the ground, like make it fine-tune it, that's the word. How we can fine-tune it and make it better. That's it, right? Now, that's just what I do. But anyway, One Boy, definitely we need to talk about that. Know how we go, if it has to become a law in the Southeast, so that they will be protected, because there are cases where they go do their One Boy finish, nobody pay them. It's a very good idea, but it needs to evolve to the next step, because now 2026 we did. Anyway, I appreciate all of you guys for being here. And until next time, my name is Kachi. I'm the host of the Bia Parlor Show. Peace.